Hello everyone, my name is Jarek Wan. I am the marketing manager for Southwest Transit and I have been tasked with selecting a marketing team for our upcoming Boeing 747 release. For this presentation, I will be going over the purpose of this team, how I chose the team members, the team's strengths and weaknesses, strategies to keep the team motivated, leadership strategies, how to manage conflict within this team, conscious capitalism, and stakeholder orientation. Competitor has been releasing low-fare flights and has been cutting into our profits. We are at risk of laying off hundreds of employees. We have a new marketing campaign that will be introduced with a new Boeing 747 in 6 weeks. This team will develop the marketing strategy for the unveiling of the new Boeing 747. I use the Big Five model to identify traits of extroversion and agreeableness. Extroversion identifies potential leaders and agreeableness identifies team players. I selected employees with diverse experience with Southwest Transit. Those newer to Southwest Transit offer new ideas where experienced employees know what has worked in the past and what has not. Finally, I identified motivation in employees which align with conscious capitalism. Through careful consideration, I have chosen Natalie, Bob, Susan, and Elizabeth. Natalie's a natural leader. She's very charismatic and is a smooth talker. But Natalie sometimes shows a little disdain for her colleagues and has a harder time trusting them. She has been with Southwest Transit for 2 years, and she is motivated by challenging work. She enjoys the challenges that comes with a task like this, and she always likes showing her skills and talents in her work as well. Bob is very eager, known to be a great team player, and always lends a helping hand to whoever may need it. But sometimes Bob can be easily overwhelmed, may overreact, and sometimes this doesn't translate well to his communication. It can be seen as brash. Bob has been with us for nearly the beginning, for nearly 20 years, so we know he's dedicated, but he's just motivated with simple compliments like a hey, good job, and is motivated also by a raise or a bonus. Susan is an excellent team player. She's known to be very energetic and agreeable. Sometimes Susan can lack focus at times and lacks confidence and needs somebody to look over her work. She's only been with Southwest Transit for over a year, but Susan really wants to make an impact on the organization and wants to make a difference in the world. Elizabeth is a very detail-oriented problem solver and has been known to take over the leadership role when she needs to. Sometimes, though, Elizabeth can have issues with developing new skills. She has been with Southwest Transit for 4 years and is looking to promote with Southwest Transit. And she is motivated by employer support and being seen as a peer and not a subordinate. Now I will be going over the strengths of this team. I do believe the largest strength lies in the team's diversity, ranging from tenure. So Susan has only been with the team for over a year, so she can bring in fresh new ideas. And Bob has been with the company for close to 20 years, so he has a lot of experience, and he has experience with ideas that work, ideas that may not work. I also believe the motivation was a large factor for this team as well, and it's a large strength due to the motivation of the individuals not being only financial gain, because this is a high risk project that is coming up, and the personalities of the strengths is a strength as well. We have two individuals, Natalie and Elizabeth, that are okay with being the leaders, stepping up when they need to be leaders. And Bob and Susan, they're high agreeableness, extroversion. They're going to be great team players. These are some of the major weaknesses I can foresee happening with this team. One being conflict. So there are going to be conflicts within certain individuals. I can foresee Susan and Elizabeth having conflict. Elizabeth being very detail oriented, Susan being the opposite of that, less detail oriented. And with Bob and Natalie, so Bob's a little bit more brash with his communication. Natalie already has some disdain for her colleagues, so I can see a clash happening there. And also with Natalie and Elizabeth, they both might want to seek that leadership role, so I can see conflict there as well. And also with the time management, Susan can get overwhelmed with the time constraints, and Bob can also take on too many tasks, which can cause issues with time as well, and we are very limited on time. Managing conflict within this team, there will have to be some compromise. Natalie and Elizabeth will have to compromise because both individuals want to take up that leadership role. Bob will have to work on his verbal and nonverbal communication so he doesn't come off as brash. Susan, she lacks a little bit of confidence, so the team has to work on building up her confidence so none of the quality of the work is affected. Looking at the ERG theory, I see a strong motivation for growth and organizational impact for this team. And by using the MBO goal setting approach, we're allowing Elizabeth to work autonomously so she can be treated as a peer. And for Natalie, she always wants to be challenged. So by setting milestones for her, we would let her reach those challenges. Susan exemplifies conscious capitalism because she wants to make a difference. Susan's presence alone will bring conscious capitalism to the other team members. Employees may get laid off if this isn't done properly, so customers suffer if we lose employees and our services aren't up to par with what we can deliver. In conclusion, this team does have what it takes. According to the Big Five model, this team does exhibit high levels of extroversion and agreeableness. This team is very diverse with varying levels of experience and tenure with Southwest Transit. The motivation among the group aligns with conscious capitalism, wanting to grow with the company and impact the organization. And this team knows that everyone is a stakeholder. And with the support and guidance of management, this team will be an unformidable force.